Are you looking for that perfect off-road trail along Highway 395? Today, I'm ranking 5 of my favorites, from easy scenic drives to intermediate mountain adventures, so that you can decide which one belongs on your next adventure. Traversing the narrow valley between the lowest elevation in the continental U.S. and the highest, hugging the slopes of the eastern Sierras past the vast expanse of Nevada's Great Basin, until eventually reaching the varied terrain of the Cascades in Oregon, Highway 395 is a hotbed of outdoor exploration. In this guide, I highlight 5 of my favorite beginner to intermediate Jeep and 4x4 trails located along the California-Nevada border. 3 trails explore the spectacular eastern Sierra Nevada mountains, while 2 venture into the remote Sweetwater Mountain Range. Each segment includes information about scenery, road conditions, trail difficulty, and what type of vehicle is recommended, helping you choose the adventure that's right for you. Whether you're looking for an easy scenic drive or a more challenging backcountry route, these trails offer some of the best off-road experiences along one of the West's most scenic highways. In segment 1, we'll visit the scenic and historic Dunderberg Mill and Mine area. Located about 13 miles south of Bridgeport, California, west of Highway 395, along the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada mountains, lies the former Dunderberg Mine and Mill. With a rating of 3 out of 10, this trail is considered easy by off-road standards. Easily accessible from either Green Creek Road or Virginia Lakes Road, this former mill site and trail makes for a good day visit. A good time to visit is either late spring, summer, or early fall, when you can catch the cool fall colors in these aspen trees. Even though this is an easy trail by off-road standards, I wouldn't suggest bringing a full-size vehicle out here. A smaller SUV or a smaller truck should be sufficient, especially when the vegetation is full and heavy during the late spring, early summer. While this trail is generally considered easy, I do recommend a high clearance vehicle and one that's a little bit more narrow due to the tight quarters in the trees. If you feel adventurous, after visiting the actual mill site, you can go uphill above that and get some beautiful views of the valley across the Sierras here. Plus, you could even get all the way up to 9,000 foot elevation. It does get a little bit more rocky and a little bit more difficult, but you can still make it. You want to make sure you have a decent four-wheel drive vehicle and some off-road experience if you do decide to tackle these upper reaches. It can be a little bit rocky with the shelf road. In segment 2, we'll visit the awesome alpine views and rocky terrain of Kavanagh Ridge. Located just a couple miles south of Dunderberg Mill is the Kavanagh Ridge Trail, a short, out and back, just slightly less than 3 mile, very uphill trail. You begin the trail in the 9,000 foot elevation range, and you climb through the trees until you're up over 10,000 foot and actually above the tree line. This is a very scenic trail. About halfway up, you'll come to a pond, and there's great camping sites around this pond. Rated as a 4 out of 10 on the Onyx off-road standard, this trail is just slightly more difficult than the Dunderberg Mill Trail. Still capable of just about any SUV and truck. The only caveat with this one is you want to make sure you have really good tires because you are driving over much more rock in this one. This is a trail that you definitely want to wait till late spring. I've seen the snow out here as far into early July. So it's a late spring, summer, and early fall trail. What separates this trail from the other trails in the Eastern Sierras is the awesome views of the Hoover Wilderness once you get to the top. You're looking down hundreds of feet into the wilderness area where there's a number of lakes and just awesome view. I will warn you, a lot of times you're up here, the wind will be blowing. Some days though, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Well worth the trip up. And on your return drive, make sure you slow down and take in the awesome views of Mono Lake and the valley between the Sierra Nevadas and the boundary with the state of Nevada. In segment 3, we'll jump across the valley to the Sweetwater Mountain Range and drive the Masonic Road to visit historic mines. Just a few miles north of Bridgeport off Highway 182, you can turn right onto Masonic Road, a nice, easy, graded dirt road to begin with. Typically rated as a 3 out of 10 on the easy scale by Onyx Off-Road, majority of this trail is just a nicely graded dirt road, which actually provides kind of a bonus because you actually go past 1, 2, 3 mines in this area. The Chemung Mine and several sections of the Pittsburgh Liberty Mine up in the Masonic area. This trail is generally accessible 3 out of the 4 seasons. The only tough time being winter when there's lots of snow or maybe heavy rain. The high elevation up in the 7,000 range around this area kind of helps it be normally accessible in the spring and fall too, which is a great time. There's beautiful views along this entire trail. You also have a few different options on how you may want to drive this trail. You could treat it as out and back, or you can treat it as a full circuit heading all the way through Masonic up into the state of Nevada and then getting back onto the highway and coming south back into Bridgeport. Or about halfway through the trail, you can take a right and continue on for probably about 15-20 miles and end up at Bodie State Park, the ghost town of Bodie. It's also an excellent trail to do in the fall when the colors are out in the trees, because you do go through several groves of aspen out here. So if you get a chance, that's a great time of year to do this too. In segment 4, we'll move south outside of Mammoth and visit the very challenging Laurel Lakes Trail. Just outside the town of Mammoth Lakes is a trail that starts out about 7,300 foot in elevation and at a little bit more than 6 miles climbs to over 10,000 feet. Generally rated as a 4 out of 10 on the Onyx scale, the Laurel Lakes Trail is a moderate to intermediate difficulty rating, primarily due to the need for high clearance vehicles over quite a bit of rocky terrain, shelf roads, and a very, very tight hairpin curve at the end. During the first mile to 2 on this trail, you feel like you're just constantly climbing up and up through several switchbacks until you finally are overlooking the valley that you came from. About halfway back, you really start entering into the canyon that holds these Laurel Lakes. It's a beautiful canyon. Eventually, you start crossing some pretty extensive and very steep scree fields. This is basically a summer and fall trail. I've seen snow out here into late July when they're still trying to clear the trail to get all the way back. As you come to the end of the trail and you're overlooking the lakes to your right, you'll come across this hairpin turn that even the shortest of vehicles are going to have to make a 3-point turn at minimum to get through this. It's always good to have a spotter also to help you when you're nearing the edge of the trail, because it's a pretty steep drop off. After you clear the hairpin, you've got a couple more switchbacks going down as you arrive to the actual lakes. And finally, in segment 5, we take on the high, challenging climb up to Mount Patterson over 11,000 feet. With the trailhead located approximately 25 miles north of Bridgeport, California, the trail up to Mount Patterson rises from approximately 7,000 feet all the way up to over 11,000 feet at the summit. With the trail rating of 6 out of 10 on an off-road standards, this is definitely an intermediate trail. High elevation climb, lots of ruts in the road, high up over the tree line on shelf roads, climbing up to a very high summit. You definitely want a high clearance vehicle and some off-road experience climbing this trail. On the lower portions, you're bound to encounter definitely rutted portions of the road. Some of these ruts can be as deep as a foot, foot and a half, depending on how bad the winter was and the runoff. Don't be misled by the first 2/3 of this road coming in from 395 before you get to the trailhead. While that's just basically a graded dirt ranch road, once you hit the trailhead, you start climbing pretty quickly. It won't be long before you start getting into a canyon, very steep slopes and switchbacks as you climb up higher in elevation. Due to the elevations and the much anticipated snowpack that happens up here every winter, this is definitely a middle of the summer to early fall access trail. You can make this a point-to-point day coming in from California side off Highway 395 or from the Nevada side coming in from the Sweetwater Land and Cattle Company Ranch area off State Route 338. Or you can do like we did and came in from California, drove all the way through into Nevada and made a round trip out of it coming back to Bridgeport. Either way, it would be planned for a long day. What's interesting about this trail is this is not the Sierra Nevadas. This is east of the Sierras in the Sweetwater Mountain Range, which borders California and extends into Nevada. As you climb above tree line and crest the final approach up to the summit, you're in an area that's much like a moonscape with very little obvious plant life. However, what flowers do grow in this high alpine landscape are small, hardy, and adapted to short growing seasons. This area is nicknamed Mars with Flowers. As you arrive at the summit, take the time to get out, stand by the flag, and look all around the 360-degree view in front of you. You deserve it, you earned it. I sincerely hope this video helps in your adventures, and thank you for watching.